Hello there, and welcome back to the 14th episode of the Devlog series for SCP The Cycle, the story-based horror game that I'm currently making. I've got a lot to show you this week, so let's get right into it. First of all, some minor updates. I've added SCP-3658, link in the description if you want to read it, and it sits right here in this hallway. I've also changed the sign objects so that they draw the text themselves instead of making separate sprites-freeze sign, which saves quite some memory. I've also finally added in all the horizontal doors, and I've honestly got no clue why I haven't done this before. Then, moving on to the more major updates. I noticed that the pathfinding AI, currently only used by SCP-106, wasn't actually able to see you, and only reacted to the sounds you made. After spending some time on this, I figured out that the collision checking functions don't return a true or false value when there is a collision, but instead they return the ID of the instances that are colliding. So the script that checks for line of sight has now been adjusted so that it checks whether the function returns a no-one value or an instance ID, and it only has a line of sight when none of the functions return an instance ID, as there would be a collision between the player and SCP-106 otherwise. Moving on to the cutscene system. 2 weeks back, I asked you whether I should improve the cutscenes from just text to show a little bit of animation as well, and with a whopping victory of 2 against 0, I will be doing just that. The first improvement I made is a new dialogue box that makes it much easier for the player to see who is talking. It does this by showing the face and name of the character that is speaking, and it also has a little more room to display dialogue now. Now, the largest part of making these cutscenes lies in creating timelines. These are essentially lists of timers that perform certain actions after a set number of frames, which makes it very easy to create simple scripted cutscenes. The minor problem that I'm facing now is coupling these timelines with the dialogue. I can't make the timeline continue with no pause, as it is unclear how long a player takes to read the text, so I'll have to pause the timeline and continue after the dialogue is done. I still have to learn about timelines and their functions, but I'm guessing that I would have made much progress once the next devlog rolls around. Another addition this week is the Tesla gate. This is a metal gateway that releases an electric shock when you get too close. It's intended to keep SCPs at bay if there is a breach, but it's hostile against the player as well. You have to time your walking correctly to not get hit by it, as it will result in an instant death, but it can be handy for temporarily getting rid of SCPs that are chasing you. I need to figure out the right balance, as I can't place too many of them around the world, because you could easily get rid of SCPs that way, and then they wouldn't be so much of a threat anymore. And lastly, the bug fixes. Last time I said that there would be some bugs to be fixed, but I found many more than I expected, and I'll briefly go over these now. I fixed an issue where you could not exit the "You Died" screen. I fixed the SCP-106 depth settings. I fixed areas where walls were missing. I fixed the door "Access Denied" sound so that it cannot be spammed anymore. I fixed the load game button so that you cannot load when there is no save file. This will turn the button red instead of the normal blue color. The doors now display messages via a message system instead of drawing it themselves to fix the depth issue. And I fixed an issue with camera shake would show the outside of the room. And that has been it for this week. Now the goals for next time. I want to make progress in the animated cutscenes. I'll be expanding the second chapter, I'll be adding in some missing sounds, and of course I'll fix bugs if I find any. Well then, thank you for watching. As always, I'm very open to suggestions, so do leave some feedback in the comments. If you want to keep up to date with the progress, consider subscribing. Bye for now, and I'll see you all next time.